Vertigo, the building map. I was in a building once.
You were in a building once?
Yes.
Are we not in a building right now?
Okay, twice.
Twice? Second
I was in a
time?
building twice.
Wow.
No, when I used to work in commercial real estate, I'd often be in building sites, looking at, like, advising clients on how much things were going to be worth and maybe put your partition wall here rather than there, things like that.
How much is all of Vertigo worth then?
It's a lot of floors. It's a lot of floors. I think
That's
it's beyond
true.
my jurisdiction. I did up to 2,500 square feet, and this is a hell of a lot more than that. Right then, into the pistol we go. VSM with the naked P2000. No skin whatsoever. Like the Scorpion myself. Keto's his 8 HP, so I think...
is that
maybe.
the smoke they wanted?
I think that it might not be.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this one goes. Keto is going to find... I think he maybe saw 2 players on the cam there, but there were 3 lurking around. MIBR trying to reposition as they see Big go past the door, but not in the door. Lots of sound cues, lots of nervousness. This is like an anxious map for a pistol round, don't you think?
Oh yeah, Tabson's planting on that other side, but KNG sneaks in for the first kill. Man, this is all over the place. Big going into the A-bomb site, but MIBR is still landing their shots. Xantara's struggling. He can only get 1 kill, but C.R.A.E has a chance here. The issue is the bomb is planted on the safe side of the site, so he has to go forwards. He has to go for the fight, and he can't win it. TRK closes it out. They have the kit. They have plenty of time, and MIBR have their first pistol round.
He got straight popped in the face, or banged out, as Soren might say. 1-0 for MIBR. Now we can see the fans are still behind them. We've seen what they can do on this map, for sure. So I think there's confidence. I don't think that the fan base will be too concerned with the performance on Mirage. We know how strong Big are. That's just, it's fine. We're going to have to win it in 3, especially with Dust 2 as a final map. I feel like we might see the best of KNG on that map, should they make it that far. Well then, the AUG is out once again for Lucas. Interested to see how that continues.
This force play is so strong from Big, man. They've got an AK and 3 Galils. I mean, their nades aren't great. Okay, they've got 1 flashbang, but just in terms of weaponry, I like that MIBR are getting aggressive and trying to get up close, because they don't have the weapons to fight at range. And Leo is ready with a Molotov to clear out some of these closer angles. He's not ready for Tabson, though. 2 kills found. C.R.A.E with that second one. MIBR already in trouble, but at least they get 1 back.
Yeah, that's the problem with such a rudimentary grenade next to a smoke. If someone's next to that smoke and they're on the correct side of it, as they were on that occasion, it is so costly. Not 1, but 2 lost, and this could really be an uphill struggle for MIBR, even though they start at the top of the map. C.R.A.E creeping with the scout. It's going to have to go for the quick scope now, but right eye of KNG just about going to get there. Hasn't seen Xantara's, however. C.R.A.E can run distraction, but KNG manages to fall back just before Xantara's can take him by surprise.
Quick bomb plant and a quick shot landing from C.R.A.E. He takes some damage in reply, though, and Xantara's can't get off the site because they don't have those nades. They don't have those smokes to keep him safe. He gets caught out in the open, and now it's C.R.A.E and Keto who have to clutch. C.R.A.E with no Kevlar. A shot lands, but it doesn't really do any damage through the box. And Keto getting 1 kill, but that might not be enough. C.R.A.E left in a 1v2. He could switch out to a Galil or AK, but he doesn't want to give away that he's made this play. He's got into a good position, but VSM don't care about that. He swings out wide and gives MIBR another round.
Yeah, MIBR got away with something. Some early warning signs. I think that mistake down the ramp, he wanted to be in round 2, then round 22, so there's that. Definitely will have to be more careful playing around smoke grenades again. If you give Big a chance, things can fall apart very quickly indeed. But they keep the clean sheet. 2 bomb plants, 2 diffusers so far.
I heard a Vamos in there.
Yeah, those are the decibels that we're looking for here. I want to see the scale broken today.
And it's nice that they win the first pistol round and the second round, so they can get that hype going early. If you come into Vertigo, you instantly lose the pistol, you're not going to be yelling like that. But instead, they get that momentum going for them, and I think for MIBR, we've seen how important that can be. A lot of early nades here. I think that molly just got thrown off the map. I'm not entirely sure, but Big are going to try and get through these smokes.
Very silently, a pop flash and the footsteps will now be heard. Already we have 3 players towards the A-bomb site. TRK playing in CT spawn, just keeping a very passive eye on mid, but there's no one there. So MIBR have got the players in the right positions C.R.A.E looking to start rotating towards A as well. So there's an influx of CT players and rifles to all these pistols. They're lining up, but it really is the Gatling guns, the shooting gallery. Pure execution on the A bomb site. Not the type that we might see from Big later on.
Over on Mirage, I was talking about how that's the worst map for tabseN stats-wise. I want to give him some credit. This map is one of the ones where he's the only Big player who plays above their average rating on this map. tabseN actually has a 1.17 rating on Vertigo, which is really impressive considering Big don't play this map that often, and they don't really like playing it. He's the one player that's the clear standout on this map. So definitely watch out for tabseN on this one, see if he can get involved, because we are into the gun rounds, and Quito is running right on in. The counter flashes are good though. T.R.A.E with a quick kill, back for 3 kills. T.R.A.E shutting him down.
That is outstanding play. He waited for that flashbang support as well, and look how much he got from it. Shut it down indeed. Tizian is alone in a 1 versus 4. And at this point, it's a war of attrition. He needs to make this round expensive from MIBR because that might be all he could expect to do. But the angle from Lucas, he'll see the gun, but misses the head. Go back a second time, and that will be enough. 4-0 for MIBR. Surviving with 4 players will be great for their economy as well.
And not only was it the flash from VSM, I think a nade landed as well, just as that second peek came in, because he got assists on both those kills. You might get to see it on the replay. There's the first one, slow motion spray down. There's that nade flying in, and then look, both players low. He just about gets them both because of that nade landing. It only needs a couple of shots.
Not flashbang, my bad.
No, the flashbang was for the first one. You're right on that, James.
Yeah. I was half right. Got 0.5 for that. All right then, Big will be quickly towards the ramp area. Xantares getting peppered, but they won't make a stake from him yet. Still alive with 5 HP. Kevlar will be very, very handy. So trying to make some early inroads. You can see that smoke up on the side. That will be deployed by Big, but on this occasion, nothing doing. So they wanted to close the distance. They've got pistols, of course. That Tech 9 up close can be devastating, but we see the smoke grenade being replenished by MIBR, keeping that map control, and they've got plenty of bullets to spray. So that's like the initial objective, mini objective for Big, which has failed, but they still have the numbers here.
I like the Big sitting back to begin with, just in case MIBR are going to push up close behind that smoke. Then you can try and steal a gun away. Lucas in position, gets a quick double kill, and Leo almost turns around for one of his own. Only gets 1 on the hold, though, and that means the guns can be recovered. M4 given over to tabseN. C.R.A.E should be able to get another gun as well. I think there's another rifle somewhere, but he is very low on health. So even if he gets a gun, he's not got a great chance to use it. Oh, did the gun get shot off the map? Is that possible? I don't know, but C.R.A.E.'s given up on it. tabseN's going to go in first with the rifle. There is a smoke down on the site, so they can close the distance, and T.R.A.E won't be spotting them out here.
Oh, this is really awkward now, because maybe ideally you'd want C.R.A.E to swing for tabseN to try and trade and make it better for them, but he's got to plant the bomb first, and a HG grenade will finish him off, and then the job will be finished by MIBR in general. 5-0. It is a clean sheet, as we'd say in football. No more bomb plants now for Big, and that's something to keep an eye on. We can ignore those initial ones. Now I want to see how many bomb plants do they get, because even if they're losing rounds, that may give us an indication of what level of success they're having. So in that respect, big fat 0 for the time being. And speaking of big guns are coming out now. AWP for both sides, C.R.A.E and KNG. That raised armor penetration from the AUG as well may have a part to play, we shall see. But first it will be the scoped weapon. Leo Drunky going a step too far on the ramp.
Quito getting into the B stairs this time without a player pushing his position straight away. Oh, Quito's actually going to go for the fight. They have the man advantage. They have Tizian backing it up, though. Quito and Tizian, oftentimes the 2 players going in first. They work in tandem in that round. And tabseN almost gets that lineup through the smoke, but a second smoke deployed, the bomb about to be planted, and the nades aren't here for MIBR. They concede the plant. Lucas, though, gets aggressive, and there's still another low-health player on the Big side.
Long rotation for KNG, still on the A bomb site, maybe looking for lurkers, but he needs to get here quickly. Lucas, I think the first frag from him was heroic, but Xantares will stop him from doing anything else. Now there's a real strong angle for C.R.A.E. If he takes a shot, his teammates can swing off of it. So I think this will be hard for MIBR. We can see that's the design with Xantares behind the boxes at present. There's a flashbang, no C.R.A.E forced from his angle, but out pops Xantares, leaving KNG to save the AWP. as Big find their first round on Vertigo.
That's more like it for Big. I was watching back one of Big's Vertigo games. I was assuming MIBR would pick it. And it was a game they lost 16-5 starting on that T side. But they actually did have a fair amount of success at getting towards the sites, getting the ramp control at least. So I think that's a positive for Big. They normally seem to get themselves into winnable scenarios. And another thing I like here for Big is Keto and Tizian working together as that entry duo. Because there are some maps and some games where it feels like Tabson gets more involved in the entries. But I think he's just such a good player in those late round scenarios that I prefer it when it's Keto and Tizian kind of leading the charge. Keto is definitely someone who's good at getting those entry kills. And in that round, he just sacrificed for the team. He's willing to do that. He goes in first, Tizian trades him out. And now we head back into our next gun round where Xantares is already sneaking up on KNG. If KNG's not careful here, he could be in trouble. VSM gets a kill elsewhere. Searson with another kill, and KNG actually got taken out there. That was Searson just winning that AWP duel.
Yeah, and this is a very... Oh no, Leo, where are you going? God, the GPS has gone nuts. He's driving into traffic. 3 players left for MIBR. Oh, make it to Lucas. Decapitated. Close casket funeral. This is a really key round for MIBR. There's no money in the bank for most of their players after this. This is the door open for Big. This is how they get into this game. MIBR haven't really made a monstrous score in this half just yet. There are plenty of rounds to be played, and this could be very costly indeed. Mistakes have been made.
Oh dear. That was a bit of an awkward one. That's putting it nicely for Leo there, getting caught in the open. And those are the sorts of mistakes you can't afford to make on the A side of Vertigo. It's so important that you know exactly what you're doing on that A side of the map. It's very important for teams to know whether they are fighting together for the site or whether they're playing retake. You have to be on the same page, and Leo wasn't on any page in that round, unfortunately. Yeah. Now TRK is just trying to save.
Lurpus is not a fan of automation, and that was definitely autopilot on the side of A there. He won't be happy with that one. Second round for Big, and it's the second round in a row, but MIBR have been reduced to poverty status for the most part. But they could, well, I mean, VSM's got the 5.5 grand, so they are going to buy around what they have. It'll be a ropey one. And I have to say, looking at mid, for example, we saw an early HG grenade from Big in that previous round, so if MIBR tried to make some like fast play with an AWP or something, they were ready to slow them down and do some damage, and that is what MIBR might be looking for in this round with only 4 rifles, but how fast is that from VSM towards B?
Yeah, really quick kill. It is a bit weird that Lucas just isn't getting a gun of any variety here. Maybe he'll try and scavenge one off his teammates later in the round. But it's a nice start for MIBR either way. And Searson was the man who really opened up that previous round. Xantares not ready for the USP of Lucas. That one USP apparently is enough. He gets himself an AK, and now Big are in real trouble. They've given away another gun. Tizian is on this mid flank. That's going to be successful. KNG taken out of the round, but there are 3 CTs stacked on this B side of the map. Big need to make sure they're aware of that. They've lost another man. Tizian trying to sneak into the back lines, but that's been spotted. They've accounted for it. And Tabson, the last man standing, had little left to do. MIBR bounce right back.
VSM making that $ count with 3 kills in that round. Super fast. And it has to be said, it was very strange. Lucas didn't buy anything in that round, not even Kevlar. It was essentially a force buy, and he kept $2,000 in the hole and had absolutely nothing. So perhaps he was AFK. Maybe he was receiving a pizza. Perhaps something healthier. Processed foods are bad, people. 6-2 for MIBR, and Big have a decision to make. There is a technical pause as a coach has high ping. But we can see, well, I can see that there's money for Big, so they'll be buying into this round. But it has been an arduous game of Overpass so far for them. Overpass, Vertigo on the T side for Big. Some mistakes here and there from MIBR, but they're keeping their heads above water.
That they are. I'm going to be honest, James, I don't exactly know what arduous means.
Hard, let's say, difficult.
Okay. Just, I mean, obviously I did know. I was just pretending I didn't in case the viewers at home didn't know, obviously.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Yeah, definitely not just me being dumb. That could never be me. Never.
I am really curious to know what language Big are communicating in and what their journey is. I have no doubt that like when Xantares is dead, they'll go to German.
Sure.
I think it's standard. Like when NIP had international players on their roster, they would just go to Swedish afterwards, or just go to Swedish actually. I think they did, if I remember correctly. But that is there's a lot of hurdles, it seems, for Xantares in that sense, because I know for some players, like if you have to think in one language and then communicate in another, that delay can be very crucial in a game of Counter-Strike. Is it better that one player does it or 4 players do it?
Tabson is like fully focused right now. What is going on? Little massage of the brain, trying to get those strats out of it.
I feel like he's watched the highlight, the clip of me with my flies down, and he's trying to just get it out of his mind. Like,
the second-hand cringe right now.
I can't believe I've actually seen that. Need to focus on this game, but my eyes have been blinded.
He is back.
Much more reasonable odds in this map 2. I think it got up to 21 point something for MIBR on Mirage, but hopefully none of you were that crazy. So do you favour a team based on what you've seen so far in this match? Of course, we've only seen one half of play, well, part of one half. But from the data you have seen thus far, not that I'm not going to force an answer out of you. You don't have to pick one. But if you were to, where do you stand or sit? You're sitting.
I am sitting right now. On Vertigo specifically, or on the entire series?
No, just for this map. Do you have confidence either way right now?
I would probably have confidence in MIBR, especially because their T side, from what I've seen from them in the past, they do play very, very loose and very much just running onto sites. Sometimes they don't even use their nades, but I feel like this is a map where Big don't have all of the protocols in place to be able to deny that. I actually think that the way MIBR work on this map works pretty well with their kind of loose play style. It's almost similar to, you see Furia on this map just doing these crazy pushes. MIBR are kind of playing a little bit similar to that. And I just don't think on a map that Big don't play that often, I just don't think they'll be ready for that, honestly.
While you were talking, I realized how much smaller your head is versus mine.
Am I just like a scuffed BBK right now?
I thought to myself, I think that the people in the chat should put in percentages that would be required to inflate your head to make it the size of my head.
Oh, there's quite a noticeable difference, isn't there?
I know, right? Like,
yeah.
I got a pretty meaty head, but I am big body. So, are we talking 15% inflation?
Yeah, it might be bigger. It's hard to tell because it's a circle. Oh, I'm getting a close up now. Bloody hell.
Have a look. Focus on.
Oh, we can see you in the reflection head. On the close-up in the glass.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. It looks like you're lurking behind me as a ghost, which I don't think I like.
No, I do cast a big shadow, so you don't want that. Nobody does. But anyway, answers on a postcard. How much would we need to inflate his head? He'd probably die from the process, but that's not the point. How much would we have to inflate his head to make it the size of my head?
I'm willing to die for science, James.
I feel like that's what we should be doing with the predictions.
What?
The prediction sheet. We should make a prediction sheet with the talent of, and then, I don't know, someone could like do it in MS Paint or something.
Who do you think? Have I got the smallest head here, do you think? I would like to see other people's heads relative to your head, because I'm a bit self-conscious now.
I'm not self-conscious at all. I'm totally down to do that. I think you probably do have the smallest head, yeah.
Wow. There you go. Thrilling insight here at Flashpoint 2. I have the smallest head, but I have the biggest brain, I'll tell you that.
4-round lead for MIBR. And again, Big, having lost the previous, are back on the bye. Lucas knows his angles. The protractors are out. Sisson, a little hopping, trying to find a little whisper of something. A little, like a shoulder pad or a helmet. To get a kill in a common position, but nothing doing just yet. One-man lead for MIBR. The initial engagement has gone their way. Leo Drunky behind the pile of mortar. There are buildings to be built, but first there are enemies to take care of.
Definitely seems like Sisson is going to be the key into opening up some of these rounds for Big. When they go for these slower rounds like this, they're looking for the AWP to get an early kill. It's not really been happening for them in the recent rounds, though. We've also seen Keto have some issues over on this B side of the map, getting much action early. You can see right now he's just trying to hold to see if any aggression comes in through those stairs. Both teams are just chilling for the time being. Tabson doesn't realize there is still a player at Sandbags. If he fires off a couple of shots here, or even just pulls the nade, Leo might take that chance. He might take the moment to strike. He's going to get this kill, lets his teammate die, but now they know it's not the A play. They might be able to get back to B in time.
C.R.A.E will be able to escape from that situation despite conceding his position. He's got the sound cues, but doesn't have the crosshair placement on this occasion. A nice burst from Keto, but not a fatal one. And that's going to cost him because VSM is on the site. Bomb being planted. There is cover, but he just can't find it. So many angles to look at. He's completely exposed. Doesn't get the target identification fast enough. 2 versus 2 now. Moving in from mid. The transfer from Tizian. Tizian actually steals the first one away. But the job will be done. And Big are back on the scoreboard.
That's a pretty brutal round for MIBR as well. When you get into that man advantage scenario with the information that A is kind of clear, you should be winning that round the large majority of the time. And MIBR will know that. If the B anchor just gets 1 kill there, you're probably in a position where you can go on to win the round. But Big wins some really important fights. They win some critical fights on towards the B site. And that leaves MIBR in a pretty rough position where they only get 1 rifle into this next round.
KiNK has taken some grenade damage, it looks like, with his Desert Eagle. Little swing on the ramp. Lucas with a cheeky angle. Sisson now, I was going to say, is with the bomb, but he's got some reinforcements on the way. Lucas trying to do what he can, but Sisson, again, coming into this one hot from the previous map, will be very aggressive indeed. Now, Big, they've only got a man advantage at present, but they've got great position on this A bomb site. Bomb making its way in the hands of Tizian. We'll see what MIBR choose to do. No defuse kit on the players, but there is a rifle and an SMG on VSM and C.R.A.E respectively.
VSM already down to 40 health. I think those steps were heard there from Tabson. Ooh. Oh, nice shot from Tabson.
So clean.
Yes, very clean. And now C.R.A.E, the man with just the MP9 and a Deeg in his back pocket, will try and hold on to this. There's no money in the bank, so he wouldn't mind some kills here. He wouldn't mind some extra cash. Oh, he's going to control it as well. Nice spray there with the MP9, but Tizian gets him on the flank. That was more of a loose round from Big, but one that works for them. They kind of get between the cracks. They get their way onto the A site, and now MIBR have to save. So Big get themselves a chance to really get some rounds on the board now.
I love the aggression from Searson. He's quite the unit player, but he also has the level of aggression to make a play when a play needs to be made. There's no doubt, there's no hesitation there, which is fantastic for Big. Aggressively making his way towards the ramp, but there's no early peaks from MIBR. They will require some element of surprise. There is a HE grenade on C.R.A.E. Mostly USPs though. Really can't afford to invest too much into this one, MIBR. Their fate is likely in the hands of Big. But there's always that small percentage.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, I think is the phrase. I think in this round, though, it basically is over if they commit to this A site. KiNK just with the USP, looking at all these nades landing, looking to land some shots. The rotate is now coming through, but the bomb is about to be planted. They're actually faking it. Big are a little bit concerned that there could be some nades here from MIBR. We can see that that's not really the case, though. And now that they've got the bomb down, I don't think Xantares needs to be fighting like this, but hey, he's going to go for it. Tabson going to try and farm up some extra kills, and this is going exactly as you would expect. PSM stuck in. Oh my god, is he going for a knife? Oh no, he's going to get knifed. What is going on? No. Okay, we're chilling.
Swing and a miss. 3 rounds now for Big. Now the question from their point of view is, can they continue this momentum as the buy rounds come out for MIBR? But another question is, what do these buy rounds look like for MIBR? They're lacking that AWP, which could be a blessing in disguise because it's an opportunity. You can see, you've got to look at things positively, sports psychology in that. So this could be an opportunity for them to change up their formation and their makeup. But again, being such a new squad, they might not have the depth to do that effectively. Then again, when you've got people like Lucas ready for the headshots, they've raised the aggression, but can they survive? Captain's moving into a crossfire, a ding and a dong from KiNK, and this goes from bad to worse for Big.
I think that comes back to exactly what you were just saying, James. I think because they don't have the AWP to fight for the ramp, for example, they just try to get aggressive in mid instead with the rifles, where you're going to get the closer angles. And now Searson's just trying to save the round, walking out onto A. But that slight switch up from MIBR has really paid dividends for them. Xantares caught alone. It's just one by one, every single Big player dying. Keto has to ace, and that is unlikely. He gets the first fight onto B, but he doesn't even have the bomb. Okay, a second kill for Keto. This is where MIBR need to make sure they just remain compact. As long as they stick together, they should have Keto dead to rights.
I like watching his POV because he's quite good with the bursts. He's very calm under pressure. But, oh god, all the angles of Vertigo. If he walks forward, his gun will expose his position, and he's doomed. It's so difficult to clutch, I feel like, on Vertigo in situations such as this. And indeed, we were asking too much. And it is interesting where if you have the favoured AWP, perhaps you'll be too rigid, and not having the money for it may force you into a more dynamic play where if you just chose to do that sometimes, then who knows. But here we are. MIBR are back, both squads with buys, and now both teams have AWPs again. So we'll see what kind of aggression MIBR consider for this round. Again, we've got the early grenades from Big. VSM, we saw a super early kill from him with the AWP here previously, but has another look with the AUG. Now he can play off of his teammate who may have the initial angle further away, but they will identify that they are two different weapons. Oh my god, over the top, he might find two and the bomb! That's not what they were expecting. Catches them boosting, caught with their pants down, maybe their flies, ooh, and Searson's off as well.
These flashes into the B stairs are so good. If you can get a good flashbang lined up there, it's just so difficult from the T side because you have no cover. If you get blinded, you're just screwed. And Big were trying to assemble a boost of their own, which just did not come through. The timing on those flashes, fantastic from TRK in the back lines. TRK himself has now been blinded, but it doesn't matter. VSM with a quad kill on the B site. We've had a couple of rounds now where those B site defenders for MIBR have got way more done than you'd expect in their spots. But they've been locking it down. They've been doing great on that B site, and that gives them an 8-5 lead.
That's very awkward timing for Big, and just what MIBR needed. 2 rounds remain in this first half, and Big are down to the pistols. Got some P250s out for 3 of the players. P250 will pay for itself if you get a kill. Nice fadeaway HE grenades, and this may be a quick one. Tizian coming through with the Glock. He needs so many headshots, sometimes 3 with the Glock, depending on the range, but he won't get much of anything there. A quick eco round is a good eco round.
Into the last round of the half, Big will get AKs out. They have the ability to get the AWP for Searson as well. I'm sure we'll see that come through any second. As for MIBR, we could see that second AWP. TRK has the money for it. I think VSM likes to switch up his position a bit when he's got that AWP as well. You oftentimes see him as that anchor on the B site when he's playing with the rifle, but when he gets the AWP out, sometimes he'll play more towards mid, sometimes he'll go for the peak straight into the B stairs. It gives you a lot of playability across all those positions. Interesting time for a timeout from Big here, James, in that we're heading into the last round of the half anyway. I guess they really want to make sure they get this 6th round on the board before the half ends.
Perhaps going through the data they have gleaned from the rounds prior. 7 seconds to go before this one picks up. Now, I mean, this could be, I suppose there's a chance where they take a timeout to have MIBR perhaps expect a fast play. We'll see what they are up to. Flashbang this time from Tizian. And again, it is angles towards the A-bomb site, but MIBR are ready. I love these HE grenades, but they won't love the AWP of Searson. KNG out-angled, if you will. And that's an early advantage Big were looking for. And I do wonder if they'll rotate players elsewhere to try and pull MIBR from pillar to post. They've got a lurker towards mid already. And it seems they might look for a response.
MIBR have decided to stick on this A stack. It's a tough call to make. You're basically going all in on the A site right now if you are MIBR. You've left B open. VSM is playing mid right now. He's going to go back to B just to investigate. Now it looks like MIBR might be getting aggressive over on A, though. They're getting a couple of players going forwards. Tizian's ready to line up a smoke, but this is that aggression we were talking about. Trade's continuing towards the ramp. Big back to a 3v3. Now they're going to try and group up. But where is that bomb? I can't even tell where it is on the map right now, James.
Tizian's on the same level. Just
there you go, they've got it.
Yeah, you can see the faded out icons there. And we got frags in that mid position. That leaves VSM all of a sudden alone. A very awkward round now for all concerned, really, but Big have got the better of it at the business end of the round and the half. Keto with an angle which maybe VSM doesn't come back from. He's got a lot more HP though, but he doesn't have an AK. And there it is. 9 rounds for MIBR at halftime. They most certainly have a pulse on Vertigo. The question is, will they keep beating towards the end of Vertigo and take it to Dust 2? That is the question that we need to find out. And we'll find that out after the break. I hope you're not scared of heights because we are on top of a building. There's no ceiling and there's barely any walls in this bitch. It is Vertigo here with Big and MIBR. The second half, 3 rounds in it. If Big win the pistol, then it could be a quick 9-9. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Tabson with a HE and a smoke. Tizian with some flashbangs, but TRK's got some junk to throw as well, including a Molotov. Trying to draw attention in mid perhaps, but this HE could be absolutely nasty. Does quite reasonable damage, in fact. Smoke is up as well. Tabson trying to play around it. He's going to get popped in the head immediately, but he's still alive. Gets one at the very least. Bomb dropped now on the B bomb site. The full rotation is here. It'll be a late one from Searson. Tizian with an off angle by the steel girder. USPs versus Glocks, and there's a lot of shooting into these smoke grenades, and surely it'll be a flurry of frags now. Tizian dropped 4 on 3 as Big tries to fight for survival. Zantares goes as well, and now it's down to Searson. 1 on 3. Bomb not planted just yet, but it's not too far behind.
A lot of missed shots there all over the B site. Big will probably feel like they could have done a bit better, but Searson's still got a shot to win this one. He knows there's a player up close. Now there's 2. They're just all fighting at once. I love that from MIBR. All peek him at the same time. He's not going to kill everyone. He doesn't even kill any of them. TRK taking his 3rd of the pistol round, puts him top of the board as he gets his 17th kill of the game. And now MIBR can really start to run away with this. They get themselves the pistol round. They get both pistols now. They won the first half pistol as well. They get a real chance to get that early round win and follow it through on this next one. Only the 1 AK for MIBR, and we do have a force buyout from Big. It's clear MIBR still have the better buy here, though. Big are going to have to do something to win this one. But Searson has got a scout, and this is a weapon he can be deadly with in the right positions. He's currently looking for a fight towards the ramp, but MIBR aren't giving him that option right now. It's always hard to flash yourself into these angles. Searson might get a clean line of sight here. Or they're just going to smoke it.
Yeah, now they can burst through that. They can emerge, if you will, and they'll do exactly that. The UMP, a unicorn in some matches. especially from that range. Let's not forget the damage drop-off was increased on that thing many moons ago, then it fell out of favor for the most part. But it's an opening kill for MIBR. 49 seconds, don't want to run the clock down too much. Oh, these HEs again! That is quite juicy. And that could be followed up upon. We can see some of the big players trying to make their way towards that B-bomb site, and that's such an important kill from C.R.A.E. 30 seconds on the clock, we can hear a rotation from MIBR, and I start to get scared because look at the HP on these players. One shot is all that is required from these Deagles. There's the first one on C.R.A.E. Keito's making his way towards I smell disaster.
Oh, it could fall apart here. It could fall apart very easily. They're on a paper boat right now, but it's not sunk yet. Lucas has got the kill with the Galil, and Xantares is removed from the round. He's so far away that he's saving.
He doesn't know what we know.
If only he knew.
If he knew what we knew, then who knows. But Xantares at an AK on the CT side, that could be a game changer. Who knows what kind of impact frag he might get in this next round, should he choose to save it. No one ever goes into Portapuis, man. I feel like they should update the Portapuis so they don't show as engaged when someone's in there. Because right now, no one goes in there, ever. So if you change that, maybe someone would go in there.
Maybe.
I want to see people in the toilets. Hashtag Dr. Disrespects.
I don't even get that reference. So
it's fine. It's fine.
So I'm just gonna move swiftly on.
Just be glad all your videos are HD, buddy.
God damn. Wow. MIBR get that round win after going back towards A. Nice shot there from Xantares. That's what got him the AK in the first place. It was just Keito getting caught from all those angles. MIBR not using their nades onto the A site means they've got so many players ready. And even though Xantares saves the AK, the rest of the team don't have that much cash. Interestingly, Tabson spends his $700 on a couple of flashes and an HE grenade. So clearly they've got something planned, they've got something prepared, and it's Xantares trying to get aggressive early. The flash was good, the kill is good as well, but VSM is waiting in the wings, and VSM makes it a second.
Going for the, almost the alley-oop really with the HE grenade, but it gets caught. And I like that, an investment with the flashbangs to enable Xantares with the AK-47. And again, I really admire what Big do with utility and their coordination because they focus on the little things so much, and it's the little things which can often be the margin, which is there for the long term. But in the short term, MIBR are moving towards double the score of Big on Vertigo, and this is what I want to see. I want it to go to Dust 2 because I feel like that is where, you know, Big still have their team play as a huge advantage, but I feel like we'll see a very dangerous MIBR, and we'll actually have a lot to say, potentially at least, about KNG.
Could definitely be a fun one. KNG on this map as well has been one of the big hitters for MIBR. A bunch of the players up there in the teens in terms of kills. KNG has been getting quite a few opening kills as well, kind of similar to C.R.A.E. over on the big side of things. I was talking earlier about how this is one of the maps that Tabson has excelled on. Haven't really seen it so far in this game, but stats-wise, Tabson is actually one of the players in this game specifically who is way better stats-wise on the CT side. So maybe we'll get to see that come through. C.R.A.E. already getting involved early. Keito with the first kill. Fast B play from MIBR, but it's being countered. Lots of nades going both ways. Keito mollied into the open. He has to go forwards, but I don't know if MIBR know he's here. No one's looking this way right now, but a whiffed spray from Keito. He should have got that kill almost every time, but Lucas wins that fight back. And even though MIBR wanted to commit to B early, now they have to slow it down, and they don't have that many nades left. They're going to have to be very efficient with the utility they have remaining.
Sound cues are cut. Tabson knows not what is around the corner, especially because there's no sound cues from MIBR elsewhere. Starting to get curious. You can see the little jiggle there, but a little too curious though. And VSM has opened the B-bomb site for business. We can see C.R.A.E. rotating over. Now, if he can take an angle with the AWP, they haven't advanced too far just yet. Oh no, Tizian, he's lost his position. He's seen two though. Two of the four players at the very least, but he hasn't seen the bomb. The B split is likely, however, and up comes the AWP. C.R.A.E. with the flick, but he's traded by TRK, which actually gives them even better position on the B-bomb site, MIBR.
That orb looked like it was propped up there on the heaven position, but TRK doesn't care about that. Oh, he tries to turn around just at the wrong time, but Lucas is ready for the quick trade kill. Again, MIBR not giving Big any breathing room. They don't want to play passive in the post plant. They're just going to fight you in that small choke point. They don't let Big get anywhere near the bomb site. And that might be the round that really puts this firmly in favor of MIBR. And this was despite MIBR using a lot of their early nades at B. You hear all these flashes going off. They were trying to get onto B early, but they had to slow it down. And then they just relied... Oh, God, that caught me off guard, James. Bloody hell. They had to rely more just on their fights at the end of the round there. But that's what MIBR are good at.
Lucas with an additional smoke grenades, just in case any shenanigans are being intended by Big, and indeed they are. Look at that flashbang, the timing brings a team kill. No mistakes have been made. KiNK will deny Tizian. Big, very dangerous turn round such as this, but that was an unfortunate one. They haven't won a round just, oh wow, he really missed that one. But that's nervousness. He doesn't want to get caught throwing a grenade, you see. But yeah, Big haven't won a round in this half so far. MIBR looking to storm to the end of this one.
A very uncomfortable round for both teams, but it's gone about as you would expect in terms of the outcome here. 4v2 advantage for MIBR, which they should close out effectively every time, unless something goes horribly wrong for them. Definitely feels like this one is slowly slipping away from Big. Citizen getting up close, may have a chance for a kill or two. KiNK clears the corner with the P250 though. And Quito is pretty far removed from the round. He was all the way over on B. So this one will be going the way of MIBR momentarily. Quito just arriving now, looking for a kill or two. At least Big have money in the bank, so they can go ahead and buy into this next one. Citizen's even saved a bit of extra cash, so he's going to be able to get that AWP. But they are very limited on the Big side, and because of that, Quito might actually just save this armor. He's got a smoke as well. Just makes that buy slightly cheaper in the next.
Yeah, at most. Maybe Fish to steal a weapon away towards the end of the round, but there's simply not that much more he can do. Assuming we're heading towards Dust 2, this is a nice confidence boost for MIBR. Again, no fun just getting battered in the on the previous map. Now they can get warmed up. Oh, it was not meant to be. VSM makes sure with all the remaining bullets in the magazine. And on to the next one we go. 2 rounds away from victory now are MIBR. It's not too late though for Big. 14 is it has been historically one of the, I feel like the main rounds where teams have choked.
Oh my God, the odds. They're even worse than last time.
Crikey.
God, blimey.
There's no more money to be made on MIBR. It's a solid one. Just telling them, go away, stop it. There'll be no money left for the Christmas party at Pinnacle if you keep laying money down on MIBR in this game.
KiNK's looking to make sure that happens. The Molotov has not gone where he wanted it to, but it's not going to be a massive problem. Bit of an off angle here from Quito, one that might go uncleared initially. Now Quito's going to get aggressive. The flashbang dodged by VSM. He did really well to turn away from that, but Quito still gets the kill either way. And now KiNK's just desperately waiting for a pick over on this A side of the map. They lost the fight over at B. KiNK wants to see if he can make up for that, but Leo is the man who fights back into the B site. Oh, KiNK
crikey.
not ready for Xantares, into a 4v3.
Yeah, and that will help in a potential retake of the B bomb site, but as we can see, Tabsin still fighting for it, slowing things down as best he can. Ooh. Oh, that's so awkward for him. Spotted around the smoke grenades.
They got mollies.
Yeah, they continue to advance. MIBR, 3 players here, looking to force him from his position, but he holds dead fast now. And now he's a bait setup with Tizian looking to punish the swing or maybe swing on a reload. Walking quietly around the smoke, but look, watch the spray. In case they were looking to pursue, he's still showing presence on one side while Tizian peeks from another, but he's exposing himself in 2 ways, and now he's playing a coin flip position, but with the jump up the smoke, that will certainly help things. Big trying to hold on as best they can. TRK with 20 HP and 20 seconds to get this bomb planted.
Smoke gives him a bit of breathing room, but the bomb plant remains a difficult prospect, and he's just made noise dropping down. He's going to look for the angle above. Searson peeking. TRK desperately looking for the fight, but now as he gets onto the site itself, Searson can just wait. He has to commit, and he can't get the bomb down. Searson closes it out. Big just about win that one. I think that round could have actually gone the way of MIBR, though, if that molly actually landed onto Tabson's position, but you heard it explode in the air. The molly didn't land onto Tabson's spot. He was able to just stand there. Here's the initial aggression from Quito to begin with. Wow, that was rapid. And then you heard the molly there onto Tabson. It didn't land. It seemed to blow up in the air, so he could just hold his spot, and it made sure that Big remained in control of the situation.
Searson now going for a quick peek towards B. We heard success from VSM in the first half. His turn, but nothing doing on this occasion. Now, note that early round, Big have not used too much of their utility. We saw MIBR heavy on util towards A ramp, trying to secure that, get the smokes up and delay the aggression from Big, but Big may be expecting something a little later on, mixing it up and holding on to almost everything. We'll see if it pays off, though. The AWPs are coming for each other, and no one's into trade for KNG, but Quito's in a lot of trouble. They're lining up for him, but he can't get any kills. Searson makes his way in, eats a flashbang, and that will help MIBR secure this bomb site.
Quick play, and they're going to continue to fight. Leo not happy with just getting the bomb site. He wants more, but Tabson's ready for it. And now Lucas is going to be caught in the open. The spray is so difficult. He's got a molly, which could help him, but it's not going to matter when Xantares just runs you down like that. MIBR wanted to push on the post plant, but Big just kind of fought fire with fire in that round. They pushed right back themselves. And another round for Big. They're starting to get something going here.
Yeah, that was not monstrous from Xantares as well. Doesn't wait for any flashbangs and utility, just hops to the corner, little jiggle and execution. And that's only the second round of the half, so it's great to see him still making confident plays. Storming their way through the B bomb site. Big. Maybe there is life in the dog yet. We start to see the shortcomings in the money for MIBR now. The Galil coming out for Leo Drunky, TRK on that Tech 9. It is very dangerous, that Tech 9, but you know, it's got some asterisks. It's got to close that distance somewhat. Not as much as other weapons. It is kind of nasty right now, the Tech 9. MIBR have been able to just swarm, or attempt to swarm with the numbers close to a site. And they may look to do that once again here as they clear the stairs towards B.
Tabson playing that rotator role, just arrived at the B site, and I think he spotted some players, but it's not going to matter. VSM with the instant entry onto the B site, and now Quito has to deliver, has to step up, but he's only got one kill. Tizian just now arriving, and because Leo pushes out into the open, Big now have a chance on this retake. They have a couple of nades left, they have a smoke and a molly, and these post plants on the B site when you're playing in the stairs can be pretty tricky, especially with where the bomb is planted right now. MIBR is trying to push and get up close to that bomb.
Utility keeps on coming for Big, but Tizian has been lost. More flames, more Molotovs. Xantares rounding the corner, not expecting the second play. The transfer's not there. Searson, it's hard to see through the flames of an AWP. Touches the bomb now, gonna have to go for the quick scope. Lucas is looking to chase him now as he's down to the USP, running away to hold on to that weapon. Will be very important for him. Catches Lucas, but will he escape the bomb? I think he will. But it's game point for MIBR.
At least Searson saves a bit of extra money as well with that AWP, so he can go ahead and drop for one of his teammates. There's the fast B play to begin with, and then MIBR realized they kind of have to play closer to the bomb, especially with where it's planted. I like that MIBR were cognizant of that. They had the molly as well, which just buys so much time towards the end there. And MIBR definitely looking like the happier of the two teams right now. A third map is looking very likely at this point. Dust 2 almost certainly on the cards. Big getting one last buy together. They've got a double AWP set up. Searson trying to fight towards the ramp. Lucas is already somewhat close by though. Searson taking shots. Time to get out of there.
Really is time to get out of there. The margin for error is so small for Big at this point. So much to do. 2 sniper rifles on deck for them, and none for MIBR. Lucas showing plenty of presence, but keep an eye on the radar. Look at those translucent T's moving away on the low ground. And MIBR are certainly entertaining. There's a pop flash play. Lucas falls back. We do have 3 players around the A bomb site for Big, so they could get caught out of position. Xantares on the MP9 as, oh no, steps have been made, but enough has been seen, and Xantares can't even click mouse 1. Dropped on the B bomb site. However, Keto is here. High ground of the AWP. He can reset the situation as well. Needs to avoid the flashes though. Chain flashes, but MIBR haven't passed the choke point just yet. The bomb's been collected, and they're going for a plan B, which might be A.
30 seconds left. They have to run. tabseN hears them, but he's only going to get 1 kill. Tizian, though, arriving on the rotate, and that should really make life difficult now for MIBR. They have to commit to this A site. The Tizian's playing aggressive on the edge of the smoke. Sprays through. TRK trying to trade, but it's just not happening for him. Tizian above the box to close out the round. Ballsy play when you're on 15 health, but it's one that pays off for him. Big get another round on the board, and now MIBR's money is well and truly broken. Some of their players have about as low money as you can get on that T side. That's going to make life difficult for them. And tabseN there, even though he only gets 1 kill, he just hears so many steps. He makes sure that Big can fully rotate over to the A site with such little time left on the clock. Tizian very well prepared on the site itself. And MIBR's money is so bad, they've actually just forced up in this very round, and they've already lost their first player.
Deagle's on deck. Oh, that's a warning. They'll have an idea that it's getting a little close. Sound cues. Oh, he's missed the run boost entirely. Oh no, he's missed a shot as well. This is going to cause problems. A potential wrap towards the B bomb site. Now things get nervous for ceraSN and Big. Again, they can't afford to lose this one. Pop flashes and swings with the numbers from MIBR. Now that's the ceraSN that we're looking for. Xantares here as well. Starting to clear things out. Shotgun mode. 3 on 2. One step was made, but by who? A minute on the clock. KNG's got the bomb, and he hears Keto creeping around the site. He'll surely hear the scope as well, but which way is the scope pointing? So many questions, so little answers. KNG now can look to do damage at the very least. He knows there's a sniper somewhere, and he finds out where it is in the worst possible fashion. Headshot.
Big still alive here. 10th round confirmed for them, and again, MIBR's money is bad. They're probably full saving ahead of this next round. We're seeing a lot of those AWP kills towards the B stairs early. This time it was ceraSN who took that angle. As we head back into the server, we can see the limitations of MIBR's buy. They've got, what, 1 P250? That is it. tabseN's dropped down early. This is a slightly risky position to be playing against the eco. I do wonder whether Big are fully aware of the economy, but they should now know. Tizian's got the opener. Keto trying to molly down. tabseN does fall, though. That's an M4 that they can recover. They can get a rifle into their hands, and Keto's got to be careful here.
Smokes are up again. Xantares has a gap though. He's got shadows as well. Look at the transfer from him. The cleanup is pretty good. 4 players survive. They're only 4 rounds away. They are only 4 rounds away. They've won 5 of the previous 6 rounds. It's never guaranteed until the match is over. The map is over, rather. And I do wonder if MIBR start to worry now. The 3rd map is where they win this series. And maybe, just maybe, the 2nd map is potentially slipping away from them. At least securing it in normal time. But they've got more cracks at the whip. 5 AKs out in round 27. Utility is limited on 3 of the 5 players. And looking for a fast one now. Storming up the ramp. They've got Molly to clear out the CT positions.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What's happened there?
Oh, God. There's just so many mollies on that ramp. I think TRK was trying to find any sort of island that was not mollied off. Up on the sandbags, I think he was in the end. And he ends up just dying to his own Molotov. Not the ideal start to the round for MIBR, but that's the price they have to pay for the early ramp control. And MIBR in some of these rounds, they don't even go for the smokes onto the A site. You sometimes see them just explode with the fast play. That might be what they decide to call for here. One smoke on the A site, but they're just going to swing. KNG goes for the fight alone. No flashbang to help him. No one to follow him up. They're out of nades on the MIBR side, so they've got to go for this. Finally, Leo gets one back, but they make noise. The boost nearly spotted, nearly lined up, but Big continued to hold down the site itself, and MIBR just get nowhere near that bomb site. This might be time for a timeout here for MIBR, because this is getting way too close for comfort.
Big appear to be a flame at present. MIBR may be in flames.
First timeout taken right here for MIBR.
Yeah, I mean, this is, the pressure is most certainly rising. Let's take a moment. Let's just break the momentum. Even if they don't change anything crazy, all their success was very, very early. And if you ignore the pistol around, the anti-ecos and so on, there's limited data for them to go off of. And I think Big are a team where, in terms of habits and playing rounds the same, they've got quite a few ways to mix things up. So they keep it difficult in that respect. How do MIBR rise to the top, but not in body bags? That is the question as they make their way up to the bomb sites in round 28. Only with Deagles, however. But again, they've got those pop flashes, and even on a map with vertical challenges such as Vertigo, we've seen some nice pop flashes today already. Searson and Keto with the AWPs once more. Keto on B. Searson watching mid with the potential fast rotation to A. Santares has not shown his position just yet. The fact that Tizian gets that frag could be very key later on, or it could have been if there were more players towards A, but on this occasion, no. Speaking of more players, that number is dwindling as high explosive grenades deliver shrapnel across the map.
This is obviously not the round MIBR were relying on, but they were hoping it was maybe one they could win. It's the sort of round that a team like MIBR oftentimes will somehow manage to win as well, just with their skill, but not meant to be on this one. Searson getting another shot to land. TRK up close with a kill. Searson's also low on health. One body shot would do it. Tabson arriving from the B site rotate, though, gets the final frag. And we are getting closer and closer here. 15-13, but in comes the buy from MIBR. And this is where we might see a more structured round from them. I think the previous rounds they've been losing, they seem to be relying more just on working together and trying to see if they can take fights. That hasn't really been working for them, though. And maybe just falling back on something simple like one of those A executes could be the answer. We'll see if they agree with me, though, heading into round 29.
Oh, there's another fast one. Leo Drunky not making it.
There have been a lot of rounds where that opening pick has gone against them as well.
Yeah.
At the B stairs specifically.
Yeah, and VSM was landing that on their CT side, but these are crucial times now. This is the late game. Tizzy looking to delay with his jiggle. Oh no! Oh my god, the timing is so cruel.
That's like a perfect repeat of what happened to MIBR on the first half where Leo got caught.
It's even painful to watch. I don't even have a dog in this race. Actually, I do because of the pinnacle points. But I mean, generally speaking, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Still, we have two AWPs. We have angles for Big to play with. And Tabson looks to re-emerge and get that info. He's got some jiggles of his own. But that's not enough information for Big. Where they stack their players, we can see on the radar that Keto is pretty far back. That's a chunky grenade and some info for MIBR. And again, MIBR back to that strat of just swarming a site suddenly. A surge, if you will. May not be expecting two players here. We'll see if Big can do something with that. Tabson trying to create some space for himself. Plenty of bullets going his way. Holds down the side for the time being, though. A flashbang behind his teammate's head, and Zantares comes out but can't get anything done with it. 30 seconds to plant this bomb. There's time for the rotation, but Tabson had to hold down that position.
That's the risk you run when you fight for the A site like that. Sometimes you are going to get caught apart from each other. Molly arrives. No, it's not in the right spot. It's landed up on top of that box. So the bomb will be planted. MIBR get back to safety, but they're all low on health. They're all half health or lower. Keto, though, looking for a kill, and it's only the AWPs on the retake. They've got to land their shots. Smoke not going to be used. TRK with another kill, and Keto has to clutch. He's got the first man. There are still two different angles to deal with, though. Deagle out. He He knows they're low. He gets the second into the 1v1. Still plenty of time to play with, but he's not ready. He's not ready for VSM. Surely VSM gets it. It's MIBR taking us to a third.
Man, that last situation really came down to the wire. A coin flip. And here we go, MIBR. It got scary towards the end of that game of Vertigo, but I mean, maybe it's all the better for it. People got time to warm up as they move into Dust 2. MIBR, I feel, always had to win it in 3, and now they've got the chance to.
They will. Dust 2 will be a very interesting proposition, especially with the style these two teams play, right? Normally you think of Dust 2 as a map where the individuals can just loosen up. We'll see if that's going to be the case.
After the break.
Acid in my soul. I got acid.
Welcome back. We did see the MIBR win onto Vertigo there. You guys were a little bit split. It almost looked like we were going to see Big coming back, but Big hasn't had the best results on Vertigo over the last few months, and MIBR barely able to exploit that one.
Yeah, barely able to, and what a painfully slow start for Big coming out. Sure, they were able to actually garner those 6 rounds and end that second half with somewhat of a posture going into that second half, but you saw it, right? Xantares later on in this game, he was starting to heat up. He was starting to get those multi-kills, and Big were able to kind of use him as that weapon that I love the Big identity on. But man, MIBR, you can see how excited these guys are. It was a huge win for them, and honestly, their deagles are insane, man. Like, their deagles, anytime they bust it out and they're on the prowl, whether it's Leo, whether it's KNG, whether it's Lucas, it just seems like they can convert these impossible scenarios, and that's scary. That's scary to go up against, and that's scary if you're on the other side.
Well, it's also like, I mean, we're looking at this team that has only played a few best of 3s so far with this new roster, and they're already able to take maps up from some of the best teams in the world right now, which is extremely impressive. Even bouncing back after that thumping they got from Big on our first map, Mirage.
Yeah, definitely. The resolve that KNG and the rest of MIBR have shown is nothing short of impressive. They are so good at just slowing the round down, breaking it down into its constituent parts and then just finding the gaps in the defenses. They are so composed in a way that I really did not expect, and I don't think anybody expected when we saw this lineup being unveiled. It felt like, okay, they're just going to throw some Brazilian players onto a roster, call it made in Brazil, and just walk away.
I was concerned about that.
Yeah, I think we all were, and then they come out and they're able to break down rounds and they're able to beat big in 4v4 situations. They've beaten Astralis in those kinds of man-down situations. We're seeing them have a level to their game that most teams take months, if not a year, to develop. So it is super impressive what MIBR has been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time.
And let's take a look at the round that you really specified, Maui, that you thought was kind of the straw that broke Big's back here, which is round 19, when they were looking like, hey, maybe they might be making comeback here.
Yeah, this round, Big was able to find the opening pick, but MIBR, they're able to trade it out, and they slow it down. This kill VSM was able to get on Tabson was paramount to their success. And then Surson, he tries to get his team back into the round, but he's isolated right now because KiNK threw a nice smoke to separate mid off from Tizian. And now VSM, he breaks the round once again down. And you'll see that if you look back at the timestamps for those kills, they weren't all in quick succession. This isn't just KiNK and the rest of MIBR just pugging out. They're not just running out in multiple directions at the same time, hoping for the best. They're slowing the round down. They're actually understanding that, hey, we're the comfortable team on Vertigo. We don't need the info play right now. It's them that are uncomfortable. It's Big, actually, who we're actually getting on the back foot in these rounds, even when it's a 4v4 situation. And Tabson, a player that Haka has highlighted as characteristically actually is the best player for Big on Vertigo, he's the one that makes the mistake. And VSM, he was just waiting for him.
Yeah, and it's such a stark difference, right? Those B stairs. I love that you pointed out that round in particular, because when we look at MIBR's first half, VSM, he had all the utility to come flying over his head, assist him. He had KiNK on his right side to kind of pull away some of that contact. This play, it was Keto just kind of dry peeking. And look, if you're playing in a $1 million tournament, you could take all those risks, but you better believe you're going to get punished if you make a lazy play like that. So definitely for Big side of things, I think they needed a little bit more oomph behind that play. Keto had no business dry peeking that angle and just getting obliterated.
And this is a huge map here as it's going to decide our series. It will be on Dust 2. And for those of you watching and Flashpoint for the first time, it's worth mentioning that these GSL groups, the loser of this match will be basically one match away from elimination from $1 million tournament. Sure, there'll be one fourth place team that has the opportunity to play for that last chance qualifier, but two of them won't. So unless you've been playing it very, very close across your first two matches, you may be out in very rapid fashion. So as we move to Dust 2, and we're looking at who is going to advance into the winner's bracket in order to face fours. I know, Christine, you have a clip of MIBR's Dust 2, and you said they've only played this map once that we've seen so far with this new roster.
Yeah, just the one time, but the one time that they did, it was impressive, right? And the reason I highlighted this play is because MIBR are going to need KiNK to make ballsy choices like this, take the risks, and react perfectly. In this round, he actually ends up getting an ace. You can see it starts off with that mid peak, and KiNK, he's just got that killer instinct in this server, immediately rotating, being extra mobile across the map, assisting his B player with these beautiful flashes. I believe that will be VSM in that B site, but really the reason I highlighted this play in particular is because Big, we said it, right? Their Dust 2 is their best map. It's the map that they always lean into. MIBR are going to need KiNK to make plays just like this. Right now, he's under a lot of pressure. He knows they're coming B, but I like his reaction coming a little bit later here. He finds the pick onto Nico. Then later, as the B double doors is smoked, he actually re-aggresses and pushes into that and finds two more frags. I think we're on some sort of a loop here, but those two frags that he was able to find actually towards that B tunnels is what solidified the round for MIBR, and that's what I like to see coming out of KiNK. Absolutely capitalizing in those small sliver of seconds, sliver of moments, and that's the beauty of KiNK.
All right, well, it's time to talk about our last predictions here as we look at our most updated Pinnacle odds, of course, and we're going to see if you guys agree still that Big is going to take this home. Still pretty darn slim there for MIBR, 2.91. Significant underdog, one might say, in this last map.
Yeah, definitely. They were able to take that map off of G2 but that was G2 being ahead 15-11, and it was kind of a new lineup for them. So I would still have to favor Big in this matchup, and I think what we need to really pay attention to is that B rotator position, because on the Big side, that's going to be Xantarez, and on the MIBR side, that's going to be VSM. And both of those players were really heating up for me at the end of Vertigo there. VSM was doing a great job towards that B side, and Xantarez was just excelling in every single duel it felt like he was facing at the end of that one. So whoever gets that CT side first, I'm really going to keep my eye out for who's going to be defending that mid to B split, because that is just such an integral strat to any solid Dust 2 game plan.
Potter?
I'm looking at tabseN on Big. You know, we've been talking about his kind of struggles over towards A. He's been pretty quiet, and particularly on Dust 2. And with Big, it being their #1 go-to map, I know it's the third map in this series. I got to see tabseN popping off on this. I think his mobility, his brain power is huge. They're going to need him to be that anchor towards A and find the right timings to be mobile and rotate and help out that towards that middle. So if tabseN has one of those good games like that where he gets the reads and where he's able to capitalize, then I think Big take this one.
Maui, is there any way you can see MIBR able to pull this back? Racine pulls up that KNG clip, shows his patience on the op. That's a position that he was switching into to fill Fallen's shoes, who was playing the op with him earlier this year. Has he lived up to that? Can he be the hero that MIBR needs?
He's going to be a hero in this game. He's going to probably be at the top of the scoreboard, but my money is still with Big on this one.
So no chance. You're saying MIBR, if you had to imagine that scenario where MIBR wins, what does it look like in your head?
The way it looks for me is, like I mentioned, VSM has to do an incredible job. And for me today, he's done well. But I feel like there's some points in his decision-making that are just a little bit lacking for me, whether he's close enough to that B side or he's close enough to mid to help, how his rotations are going to be, because he's not the A rotator, so the B rotator it's a little bit more binary in your decision-making, but at the same time, I just feel like VSM, he's a step behind Xantarez, and Xantarez, he excels at that position, and Big have been dominant on Dust 2. It's a map that they have picked it very frequently as their first pick, if it's not Mirage.
Now that we've seen all the teams here in this group play, do you agree that these are the two teams that are going to get out in the top 2 slots? Or do you think Fours or Envy is able to take out the loser here?
Well, that's a good question. Well, Fours were sloppy this morning.
Well,
they were really sloppy.
To be fair, they also, Jerry acknowledged that they played very badly.
And I think that's a good point, is because Jerry. I'm a huge fan of Jerry, and I'm a huge fan of Fours. But and that's a great thing about Jerry, having him as an in-game leader. Anytime we speak to him, he's got such a good head on his shoulders. So yeah. Today was sloppy, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. So to answer your question, Monty, yes, I think MIBR and Big are the strongest 2 teams in this group.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like MIBR's map pool is surprisingly deep, actually. It's actually looked surprisingly competent on a handful of maps now that we haven't seen them play everything just yet.
Maybe not Mirage.
Right, that's true. Okay, you got me there.
That one.
But they've looked good on Vertigo. They've looked pretty good on Dust 2 so far. Nuke as well. These are maps that actually they should be beating Fours and Envy on. So, or I think they have a good shot of making it out of this group.